The Crunch tale begins in the small town of Crunchuga, and there lived 3 happy Crunches. Out of the 3 siblings, Jace the human was the oldest, an intelligent, brave, courageous, gentle yet strong warrior and leader. He had good intentions, but sometimes went overboard and ended up in trouble. Bob was the second oldest, and although he was a goat, he was very smart. He looked up to his older brother, had fast reflexes, and trusted his very reliable gut feeling. He was not greedy, cold-hearted, nor cunning at all, but instead he was very generous, warm-hearted, and sweet. Simon was the youngest. He was a cow, and unlike his brothers, he was stupid, idiotic, often copied others, always messed everything up, and always relied on his brothers to help him. Unlike Jace, he was a follower.
The 3 Crunches, just like all the other children in town, went to Troll Elementary. Troll Elementary is a primary school for all living creatures. Every morning, the 3 Crunches crossed the road in order to go to the school. It was the same every day. The brothers would talk together in a row. Often Jace would pull out his earphones and start listening to some music while Simon and Bob chatted away. Going to school and going back home wasn't a problem at all, until the government made the new law.
The 3 Crunches were aware of this new law, but were not taking it very seriously. The first day the law was issued, the 3 Crunches walked to school as usual. As they arrived near school, a troll blocked their way. Jace noticed the name tag on the troll's shirt, Gravy P. Troll. He knew then that she was a crossing guard. Gravy P. Troll growled, "The new rule is set. The 3 of you can only cross with an adult."
Bob smiled sweetly and said, "Sorry, ma'am, we didn't hear that there was a new rule. Will you let us go for just this once?" Gravy P. Troll thought for a while and nodded. "I guess I could, for just this once." And the 3 Crunches barreled off to school.
The next day, the 3 Crunches showed up to school without an adult again. This time Simon spoke and said, "Sorry, Miss Troll, we completely forgot about this new rule." The troll glared at them and snarled, "Didn't I warn you 3 yesterday?" Simon became frightened and hid behind Jace. Bob nodded, "Yes, but our parents can't get us here conveniently, and nothing happened to us yesterday anyways. It's just crossing a road." Gravy Peach thought for a while and finally moaned, "Fine, though I don't want this to happen again." She squinted at them suspiciously as they headed off to school.
The third morning came, and the 3 Crunches still walked to school alone. Before any of them could say anything, Gravy P. Troll roared, "Again, without an adult? I don't understand. How hard is it to follow one simple rule? You 3 have broken the law for the 3rd time. There will be no more excuses. You will have to bring one of your parents here, because without one, I won't let you cross this road." Bob and Simon were terrified. They were shivering and hid behind Jace.
"We can explain," the 3 Crunches said in unison for the 3rd time. Gravy P. Troll finally gave in. "Fine, you have 2 minutes to clarify this whole situation, but don't waste my time." Bob immediately yelped, "We're staying with our mean aunt, and she's horrifying." Simon added, "Sometimes she's as scary as you."
Gravy looked like she was about to pounce on him, and with a timid scream, Simon ran behind Jace. Jace shook his head at how his brothers were such a scaredy cat. "You see, our mother is out of town for a business trip, and we have never seen our father since the time I was 5. Bob was 3 and Simon was only 2. We don't talk about our father at all. Since our mother is not in town, we are forced to stay at our mean aunt's place. She's really lazy and makes us do all the chores for her. She wakes up late and none of us dares to ruin her precious sleeping time. Asking her to bring us to school is suicidal, you know?" Simon nodded, poking his head out from behind Jace's body. "Yeah, it's not like we want to break the law 3 times. We're just scared."
Gravy P. Troll put her hand around Bob's shoulder sympathetically. "Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. My family had problems too, I know how it feels. Hey, perhaps I could help you guys. Take me to your aunt's house, I have a plan." Her voice sounded warm, and the 3 Crunches trusted her right away. They did the right thing.
Half an hour later, Gravy P. Troll and the 3 Crunches had finally cooked up the perfect plan to take revenge on Aunt Crunch.
On Saturday morning, after going through how their prank would work once more, Gravy P. Troll went to the old tool shed behind Troll Elementary and took out the reptile aquarium, just like she had once done long ago as a kid. Gravy reached in, grabbed her pet lizard, Gacky Pig, and put him in her pocket. She ran back to the Crunch's backyard, panting. Gacky Pig slid from her hand. He landed in the icy water jug placed in the middle of the rosebook with an audible plop.
Bob Crunch was working hard in the living room. Knowing that Aunt Crunch would be using the water jug for her morning tea, Bob set up a video camera in the corner of the ceiling lamp and got it rolling.
Jace's job was to oversee everything, with a checklist in his hands and a pen behind his ear. He constantly was rushing his brothers and signaling to Miss Troll, who, despite her age, has climbed up upon Aunt Crunch's mango tree, with a second camera and a walkie-talkie.
When the alarm went off at 8 a.m., the brothers got ready as usual, then raced downstairs as normally as they possibly could. Aunt Crunch was up and in the kitchen with a cucumber face mask plastered over her face. She was still oblivious to the fact that the lizard was swimming happily as ever in the water jug. She brought her tea to the table where the three brothers were sitting, trying hard to contain their laughter.
A few seconds later, she took her first gigantic sip as usual, with her pinky finger sticking straight up into the air, and she screamed. Jace ran over and rescued the lizard, pretending to throw it out in the trash. Simon and Bob continued to look horrified as Aunt Crunch kept talking about how she could have gotten a heart attack and thanking Jace. She called their mother, and Mrs. Crunch flew back the very next day.
The video they took became immensely popular on YouTube, breaking the record for the most views in 1 month. The lizard had his own Wikipedia site as well. Gacky Pig and Gravy Petro lived peacefully at home. Apart from occasional paparazzi, the Crunches walked safely to school, of course with their mother, each morning, happily ever after. No.